Hello friends! Join us for this 50-minute yoga class as we stretch and release our tight hamstrings while building upper body strength to prepare the body for the arm balancing posture, Astavakrasana, also known as 8-angle pose. We'll start out today a little bit slower with some seated mat stretches and then build heat within the body with challenging balancing postures and sequences. If you're ready, let's get started. If you feel you might need a little extra support in today's class, feel free to grab a yoga block and a yoga strap and place them next to your mat for when you might need them. Otherwise, we're going to get started at the back of our mats today. We're going to start in child's pose. So let's walk ourselves over to the back of our mats, bring our big toes together and our knees nice and wide. And let's walk our hands down towards the front of our mat. Feel free to gently rest your frontal lobe on the mat. And take this time to reconnect with yourself. Turn your attention inward to how you might be feeling today. And if you're feeling stressed, imagine that anxiety and that tension leaving the body with every deep exhale you take. Allow your body and your mind to just relax and be present in the moment. Just allow your mind to find stillness. And when you're ready, you can gently lift your head and bring your gaze between your fingertips. We're going to roll the spine forward and drop our chin and our chest to the mat before slowly lowering our stomach to the mat and coming up into a cobra pose. Then press yourself back and come into child's pose. We're going to repeat this sequence, so vertebrae by vertebrae, round up. Drop that chest and that chin to the mat, release your stomach to the mat, and press up into cobra pose using the back muscles, not the arms. Then press yourself up and send your weight back. Child's pose once again. Let's continue this sequence with our breath, rounding up, dropping chest and chin, releasing the body, pressing the backs of the feet into the mat as you rise up into cobra. Release back down and use your hands to push yourself back up, feeling the wave through the spine and through the body. Let's do one more. Let's round up, deep curve in the spine, and then release chest and chin to the mat. Drop that pelvis down, use your back muscles to come up into cobra, and then release back down. This time we're going to stay in this position, push those knees and the back of the feet into the mat, and come up into cobra once again. Slowly release. This time see if you can hover your hands, making sure you're only using the back muscles to come up into cobra and lower down. Hands still hovering. Let's lift up into cobra again. And release back down. One more. Hands still hovering. Engage those back muscles. Come up. Maybe extend those arms out long behind the body and release back down. And then exhale as you come up, hovering your feet and your knees this time. Release. On your next inhale, engage the whole back body as you pull your chest and your legs off the mat. And release back down. Inhale, rise up, squeezing those glutes, everything engaged and active, and release. Let's do one more. Come up, strong arms, strong legs, glutes squeezing. Maybe you bend those knees and reach back to grab those ankles as we come into bow pose. Strong, active abs and glutes here. Let's take a deep inhale. And then on your exhale, release back down. Let's outstretch that left arm out long, tent those right fingertips beside the body, bring that right leg up and back behind the body, and let's get a nice stretch through that left pectoral muscle. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale. Let's release back down. This time, extend your right arm out long and tent those left fingertips. Drop that left leg behind the body as we stretch our right pectoral muscle now. Still connecting and focusing on your breath. And let's release back down. We're coming onto our forearms at this time. This time we're going to take that left leg and bring it at a 90-degree angle. And this is kind of like a half frog pose. And we're going to windmill that left arm down to the back of the mat and then over to the front again. Windmill it up over the body, gaze long over those left fingertips, and then forward. Continuing with your breath, a deep inhale as you reach back, and then exhale as you send it forward. Inhale, reach back, glutes and abs still engaged, and then release forward once again. This time, drop that forearm to the mat. Let's extend that left leg out long, and this time bring that right knee up, forming that 90-degree angle. And we're going to bring that right arm forward and up and over the body, over to the back of the mat. And let's continue this movement again. Deep inhale as you bring it back, following it with your gaze, and then exhale forward. Feeling that stretch through the right hip still. Let's bring it back once more, and then forward one last time. Let's drop those forearms to the mat, and we're going to come up into a full frog pose now. So bring that left leg up once again, forming that 90-degree angle. And we're just going to allow our pelvis and our hips to gently open up towards our mat. Allow gravity to be your friend here, and just breathe through this stretch. It's okay if you can't get super close to your mat with this posture. And see if you can just start rolling your chin back and forth from shoulder to shoulder. Really just feel a deep stretch through the back of the neck. Allow it to hang heavy as you swing it over to the other shoulder. And just get a nice release in the upper back and that neck area. And we can slowly release out of this posture at this time. And we're going to come into a tabletop posture. So that all fours posture. Make sure your knees are under your hips and your wrists are under your shoulders. We're going to take a deep inhale as we drop our chest to the mat, gaze forward, and exhale, tuck that chin in towards the chest and round through the spine. Deep inhale as we come up into cow pose, and then exhale, release all the air out of your lungs as you puff through the upper back. Inhale into cow, and exhale into that cat pose, pushing those shoulders away from the mat. Now this time when you come up into cat, I want to see if you can tent your fingertips. And then when you drop into cow, release your palms to the mat. Let's continue this movement with our wrists onto those fingertips in cat, and then drop and release into cow. We're just warming up the wrists and the forearms with this exercise in preparation for today's asanas. Come up into cat, and then exhale, release those palms as you bring your gaze forward into cow. Coming up one last time, pressing through the mat, and then release back down. We're going to start doing some gentle wrist rolls here. So just sway your weight back and forth on your arms. Whatever feels good. We're just going to try to warm up those wrists a little bit more and those forearms. So just gently sway back and forth. Maybe you bring your fingers pointing to the outer edges of your mat and then sway from side to side. Notice how good that feels in the wrists, an area that we don't stretch that much. Now bring your weight back and forth gently now, not too much pressure on the wrists. And see if you can maybe flip your wrists now so your fingers are pointing towards your knees. And just gently bring your weight forward and then backward towards the back of the mat. And let's give our wrists a little shake before walking our knees in just a little bit closer to our wrists. We're going to wrap our triceps by taking our elbows out wide and then tucking them in towards our body. And we're going to press through the back of our feet as we send our hips and our knees up high. Slowly release back down. Take a deep inhale, and then on your exhale, push the mat away, bringing those hips as high as you can, hovering those knees, and then inhale on your way back down. Exhale as you push the mat away, pressing the top of those toes into the mat. Strong arms and strong core, and release back down. Once again, push up, strong, engaged abs. Let's hover here and then see if you can start. Release one foot up towards the glutes and then the next one. And let's continue alternating our feet up. You might get a toe cramp like I did. Really strong arms here. Continue alternating those feet, pulling them up towards the glutes. Let's do one more each here. Tuck one foot up and then the other. And then hover, and let's see if we can pull those knees in towards our chest and release ourselves down into a half boat pose. Slowly drop yourself down into a hollow boat, legs and arms hovering, and then pull yourself up into a half boat pose. Slowly release back down. We're going to continue this sequence. Exhale as you push yourself up into half boat, and inhale as you release into this hollow boat pose. Core engaged throughout this entire sequence. Slowly lower down, arms and shoulders hovering, and pull yourself up. Slowly release once again. Continuous engaged abs and core. Release back down and come up into that half boat pose. Once again, let's pause here before releasing into a full boat pose. So extend those legs out long, spine long, hold, and then release. Great job. We're going to come up onto our feet into this low yogic squat. Palms in prayer. Use those elbows to push those knees out wide. Allow yourself to reconnect with your breath. Bring your heart rate down a little bit. And then let's slowly release into a forward fold. So extend those legs out long. Inhale into a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold forward. Maybe you grab your elbows at this time and gently rock the body back and forth. Soft bend in the knees if you need to. Just allowing gravity to pull your neck and your head down. And we can gently release our hands to the mat at this time, pressing our palms into the mat, and jump or step back into chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog, and then exhale as you send your hips back into our first downward facing dog of our practice. Gently stretch those heels to the back of the mat. When you're ready, let's inhale that right leg out long, and then on your exhale, bring that knee under the body and touch it to the outer edge of the right arm. Inhale as you send it back, and exhale, bring it down once again for these mountain climbers. When you bring it in, keep it to the outer edge of that right tricep and send it back. Continue this movement. Let's do one more. Exhale as you tuck that knee in, and then inhale as you send it back. This time when you bring it under the body, release that right leg to the outer edge of that left wrist. Pop that left leg in just a little bit closer and release that right arm up towards the ceiling. Feel this stretch through the IT band. And just take a deep breath here. Maybe you can pop that left leg out long for this revolved half moon pose. And then see if you can release that back leg forward. You might have to adjust your stance if you need to. And bring that left knee up. Inhale your arms up high. And then drop that left ankle over the right knee and come into this one-leg chair. Take a deep breath in the stance and see if you can bring that left elbow over to the sole of the left foot. In this revolved half chair pose, breathe through the stretch, strong right leg. And then release that left leg now and send it back almost into this revolved warrior 3. Hold a moment and then release that leg down. Adjust your stance and let's come into a warrior 2 posture. Strong right leg. Let's flip our grip and come into a revolved warrior. And then release into warrior 2 before coming into this nice side angle pose, dropping that right elbow to the right knee. Maybe you extend that left arm long behind the body. Maybe you grasp the hands together to come into this bind. Slowly extend that right leg for a nice hamstring stretch, and then bend that knee once again. Now let's extend the leg once more, breathing through that hamstring, and bend the knee back down. Let's continue this movement. Extend the front leg and release. Let's do one more. Extend the leg, feeling that deep hamstring stretch before bending the knee again. This time, let's release our hands to the mat and send ourselves up into a high crescent lunge. We're going to take a deep inhale and then exhale. Tuck that tailbone down and see if you can send your chest forward into this humble crescent lunge, maybe circling your wrists around at this time. Really awakening the wrists for our next phase of the class. Now release your hands down and send that right leg back for a one-legged chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. And then exhale, let's send those hips back into downward facing dog. Reconnect with your breath once again. Allow your heart rate to come down. Stretching those heels towards the back of the mat. And this time we're going to ground through the right leg as we inhale our left leg long and back. Tuck that knee in towards the left tricep and extend it long once again, bringing it out to the side in these mountain climbers. Send it back and continue this movement with your breath. Tucking that knee to the tricep, let's send it back once again and then bring it into that tricep. This time, one more time, send it back. And this time, when you bring it under the body, drop that left foot to the outer edge of the right wrist. Pop that right leg in closer, extend that left leg, and see if you can inhale that left arm up long towards the sky, stretching through that left IT band. Take a deep inhale and exhale. When you're ready, let's put a slight bend in that left knee and pop that right leg back into this revolved half moon pose. We're going to hold here a moment before releasing and trying to bring that right leg forward once again to set ourselves up for this half chair pose. Palms in prayer, let's drop that right ankle over the left knee and send our hips back into this half chair pose. Strong left leg. See if you can twist the body to bring that right elbow to the sole of the right foot. Getting a deep twist in the body in this hard balancing posture. And then slowly release that right leg back, keeping your slight twist into this modified warrior 3. Strong left leg, focus on balance before sending your weight back and cartwheeling your arms down into warrior 2. Breathe here. Let's drop that right arm to the outer edge of the right hamstring and send that left arm up long into this revolved warrior. And let's release into warrior 2 again before dropping that left elbow over the left knee and inhale that right arm up and long. And then exhale, let's release. See if you can bring that right arm behind the body and clasp your hands into the spine. Then extend that left leg if you can to really deepen that hamstring stretch. Bend the knee once more. Hold here. And then extend that leg once again. Bend the knee, coming back down, keeping that bind, and extend the leg. Really flossing the nerves and the fibers in the left leg. Bending that knee again before extending it one last time. Remember to breathe through the spine. And then bend that knee, this time releasing your arms at this time and setting yourself up into that high crescent lunge once again. Stretching those arms to the sky, pulling those shoulders back, and then release, sending your chest down into this humble crescent lunge. Once again, circling those wrists to warm them up. Strong right leg. And release our hands down. Extend that left leg out long, one-legged chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. And then exhale, send your hips back into downward facing dog. Reconnect with your breath. And then when you're ready, let's inhale that right leg up and back and continue with those mountain climbers again, bringing that knee to the outer side of the right tricep. Inhale up, exhale, mountain climber. Continue this movement with your breath. And let's do 2 more. Inhale it up and back. Exhale as you tuck that knee in towards your chest. Inhale back, and this time when you bring your knee into your tricep, drop that left knee, hovering that right knee on that tricep. Let's see if you can extend that leg. You might not be able to extend it all the way, and you might notice your body shaking just a bit, but just see if you can extend it a few times. And then drop that knee back down, and we're going to come into a low lunge. So bring that foot and drop it in between the arms. And then inhale your arms up to the sky. See if you can pull them down and back. And we're going to make sure we're tucking our tailbone here. So lengthen that tailbone down instead of sinking forward. And this will give you a really nice hip flexor stretch in the left leg. And then exhale as you release yourself down, tucking your hips towards your back heel and sinking into that front leg. Inhale back up into that low lunge, keeping that tailbone tucked. And then exhale, release once again, dropping your chest to the right knee and sending your hips back to that left heel. We're going to continue with this movement. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, release back down, sinking just a little bit deeper into that knee with every exhale. Back up once again. Reach to the sky. And then exhale, release. Sink into that knee one last time. And then release back up. This time dropping that right shin onto the mat to come into pigeon posture. You can kind of try to keep it parallel with the mat, but if you can't, that's okay. We want to make sure our hips are squaring to the front of the mat. And we're just going to allow our pelvis to sink deeper as we lean forward in this posture. Just breathe life into that right hip. And we're going to just walk our hands over to the left side and sink down towards our mat once again. On our inhale, we're going to allow our head to hang heavy as we pull our chest up and then slowly lower down. Let's continue this movement with our breath. Inhale, head hanging heavy until the very top. And then exhale, release back down. Inhale once more, rising up. And then exhale, release. One more deep inhale. Allow yourself to rise up. And then walk your hands over to the front. This time swinging that left leg over to the front. We're going to come into a forward fold. So feel free to grab your strap if you'd like. And place it around your foot if you need that little extra support. We're going to bring our right knee up and see if we can tuck it close to that right shoulder. So we're going to try to keep this knee as close to the body as possible when we sink forward. So you might not be able to get as deep of a stretch as you would normally. Deep inhale as you bring yourself to rise up. And then exhale, sink a little bit closer to that left foot. Maybe walking your hands up your strap if you need to. Allowing the back to round. And then we're going to release that strap and start to cradle that right leg. This kind of seated pigeon posture, if you will. Just cradle that right knee close to the body, back and forth, giving your hip a nice little massage. We're preparing the body for that 8 angle pose. So we're just giving it a little bit of extra love. And you can release your right ankle over your left thigh, and then we're going to fold forward once again. You can use your strap if you'd like, or you can just see how far you can sink in without it. Allow that back to round. Inhale, straighten out the spine. And then exhale, release into that forward fold once again. See if you can sink just a little bit closer to that knee. And then release at this time. We're going to start trying for a couple arm balances. So position yourself in a way where you can see the screen. And we're going to take our right leg and we're going to tuck it over our right arm as high up as you can on that tricep. And we're going to point those toes and point our left toes, having the left leg extended out front. And we're going to place our hands on the outside of our body and push ourselves up so our butt and our left leg are hovering off the mat. We're going to try this a few times. So on your exhale, push the mat away, squeeze that right leg into that right tricep, and hover those legs off the mat. And then release back down. We're going to try this one more time. Push the mat away on your exhale, squeezing and engaging those legs and core. And then release. Great job. Now we're going to move into a compass pose posture. So grab that strap if you had it and create a loop to hook over your foot. You might need to pause the video if you can. Bend that left knee and bring that left leg towards the body as you hover that right leg over that right tricep. Squeeze that leg into the tricep and see if you can use the strap to straighten out and extend that right leg. Breathing over to the left side in a slight twist. And just breathe through this compass pose posture. If this is too uncomfortable, you can sit in a forward fold or a butterfly posture. And we're going to try this one more time, so you can continue using your strap, or you can release it at this time and instead grab your outer foot and use your hand to extend that left leg. Breathing through this posture. And then release back down. You might notice one leg will be a little bit easier to extend than the other. And now we're going to move into our 8-angle pose practice. So grab a block if you think you might need it. You'll only need one. Place it in third position, so that high position. Prepare yourself for that elephant trunk pose with the extended left leg. Pop that right leg over that right tricep, keeping that block to the outside of the left knee in line with your left shoulder. On your exhale, push yourself up to hovering into the elephant trunk pose and see if you can hook that left foot over the top of your right foot. Bend your arms like you're coming into chaturanga, dropping that left shoulder on the block, and maybe you can extend your legs out to the side. Squeezing those elbows close to the body, squeezing those legs onto that right tricep. And then release back down. Now you can try practicing again, or if that was enough for today, you can always rest in a butterfly posture or child's pose. I'm going to try it without the block, but you are more than welcome to continue using the block. So prop yourself up into that elephant trunk pose. Hook that left leg over the right foot and bend those elbows to that 90-degree. Gaze towards your feet or gaze in front if that helps with balance. Breathe through this posture, strong engaged legs, and then release back down. Great job, everyone. We're only practicing it on the one side, and then we're going to go through the sequence again to do it on the other side. That way, it'll give your arms a little bit of a break in between tries. So we're going to set ourselves up once again into downward facing dog to continue the sequence on the other side. Feel free to pause the video if you need a little more of a break. And on your exhale, allow those heels to sink towards the mat. When you're ready, we're going to inhale that left leg up and back and come into those mountain climbers again. So inhale, release. Exhale, left knee to the outer tricep. Bring it back and release. Continue this movement with your own breath. Tucking that knee as close to the body as you can on those mountain climbers. Let's do 2 more. Inhale as you extend it back, and then exhale, tuck that knee to the outer tricep. Inhale, last one, extend it back. Exhale, release, this time dropping that right knee. Left knee still on the tricep. Let's try extending that leg. You might start to shake. Extend once more. And then release. Drop that foot in between the hands, and we're going to come up into that low lunge again. So inhale those arms up to the sky, reaching and pulling those shoulder blades back, and make sure to check that you're lengthening that tailbone down to get a nice stretch through the right hip flexor this time. On your exhale, release yourself down, extending that front leg and dropping that butt to the right heel. Stretch into that left leg as much as you can. And then on your next inhale, rise back up into that low lunge, tucking that tailbone, arms strong and pulling it back. And then exhale, release back down, coming into that hamstring stretch, allowing the back to round. Breathe into that knee. Inhale yourself back up, low lunge. Feeling that stretch through the hip flexor. And release. Fold forward. Inhale, rise up once again. Stretching your arms to the sky. And then exhale one last time into that forward fold. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale. And then slowly release at this time, and we're going to come into that pigeon posture again. So drop that left shin to the mat, trying to keep it parallel to the mat, but if you need to bring that left knee a little bit closer to your groin, that's okay too. Square those hips to the front of the mat, and then allow yourself to lean forward into this stretch, really feeling the stretch through your hips. Breathing through the posture. And when you're ready, we're going to tiptoe our hands over to the right side of the mat. And we're going to start those lifts again. So release yourself to the mat, allow your head to hang heavy, and then lift up towards the top. Slowly release to the mat. And then inhale, allowing the head to hang until the very top. Straighten those arms. Exhale on your way down. Deep inhale as you lengthen through the spine as you round up. And then exhale, release. Let's do one more deep inhale, rising vertebrae by vertebrae. And then this time, let's swing that right leg forward as we prepare for those forward folds again. So feel free to grab your strap at this time if you need it. Extend that right leg out forward and bring that left knee as close to the left shoulder as possible. Feel free to loop your strap around your right leg. Take a deep inhale and then exhale, sink into this forward fold. Using your strap as leverage, maybe walking your hands up to get just a bit closer to that foot. Allowing that spine to round. On your next inhale, straighten out that spine and rise up just a bit. And then exhale as you round through the spine again, seeing if you can get just a bit closer to that knee. Allow gravity to assist you. And then you can release that strap at this time. And we're going to come into that pigeon pose hug. So grasp that left leg and see if you can just sway it back and forth, giving that left hip and left leg a little bit of a massage. Hugging that knee as close to your chest as you can. And then dropping that left ankle over that right thigh and folding forward again. Use your strap if you need to, or just allow gravity to help fold you forward. Let's inhale up once again, lengthening the spine. And then on your exhale, sink forward once more. Maybe allowing yourself to get a little bit closer to that knee. Continuing to round through the spine and allowing your head to hang heavy. And then you can release back up. We're going to prepare ourselves for that elephant trunk posture again. So lift that left leg and tuck it over that left tricep, squeezing that left leg into that arm. On your exhale, push the mat away, hovering those legs and that butt off the mat, toes pointed, and then release back down. Deep inhale. And then on your exhale, push the mat away once again, hovering, legs and core engaged, and then release. Let's see if we can do 2 more. Really try to find some lift here. Push yourself off the mat, pointing those toes, and then release back down. One last one. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale. Push the mat away, engaging and hovering, and then release back down. Great job. We're going to bend that right knee this time, tucking that right foot in towards the body and grabbing that strap with that loop and placing it around our left foot. Tuck that leg over that left tricep and see if you can use your strap to extend that leg. Breathe through this compass pose posture. Once again, feeling free to rest in forward fold if you need to. And then release back down. We're going to try it one more time. I'm going to continue using the strap with this one because my left leg isn't as flexible as my right. You do what works best for you. Breathe through this posture and then release back down. Feel free to pause this video and practice this a few more times if it went a little bit too fast for you. And now we're going to try to come into that 8 angle pose on our other side. So extend that right leg out long and place that block in third position to the outside of that right knee so that when you bend forward, it'll be in line with your shoulder. Bring that left foot up and squeeze it into that left tricep. Toes pointed, we're going to plant our hands to the outer sides of our hips. On our exhale, come up to hovering off the mat. Wrap that right ankle over the left ankle, drop that right shoulder to our block, and see if you can extend those legs now. Gaze over your feet. Breathe through this posture, extending those legs as much as you can, and then slowly lower down. You can try this one more time with your block, or if you'd like to remove it and try it freestanding, feel free to do so. We're just going to pause a moment to catch our breath before trying this posture one more time. So when you're ready, place that left leg over that left tricep, squeezing that leg into the arm, point those toes, and then on your exhale, lift up to hovering. Hook that right foot over the left, flexing those feet, and then bend those elbows 90 degrees, dropping those shoulders like you're coming into chaturanga. Gaze over your feet or towards the mat. Strong core and arms. And then release back down. You did it! Yay! Continue practicing this posture as much as you need to get comfortable in your practice. But consider this a great start in the right direction. When you're ready, we're going to come into a butterfly posture to unwind from our practice today. So bring the soles of the feet together and bring them as close to the groin that feels comfortable for you. We're just going to connect with our breath. And let's inhale our arms up to the sky. And then exhale, let's sweep the arms across the body and over to the left side, extending that right arm up long over the body. And then release, sweeping the arms across the body, this time extending that left arm over the body for this nice side stretch. Continue the swooping pattern, breathing life into the side body with every swoop. Over now to the right. Extend it long, breathing into those ribs. Sweep it over. And continue with your own breath. And release back to center. This time we're going to take our left heel and pull it towards our right hip and cross that right knee over top of the left, pulling that right heel towards the left hip. We're aligning our knees. If this is too uncomfortable, you can come into more of an easy seated posture and place the shins on top of each other. But if you can cross your knees, I encourage you to do so because this is a great, really deep hip stretch. Let's inhale our arms up to the sky and then exhale, release our hands behind the body. Place your hands on the ground if you can and feel as though you're pulling your hands towards your glutes, but your hands aren't actually moving. This will really open up the chest and squeeze those shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath, and then on your exhale, fold forward into those knees, allowing your hands to come up high behind the body. And just breathe life into those hips. Finding a little more stillness in the body once again. And release yourself back up. We're going to switch our leg positioning. So this time we're going to bring our left knee over top of the right. And remember the modification to use if you need it. Let's take a deep inhale, arms up to the sky. And then exhale, release those arms, clasping the hands behind the body and placing them on the mat behind you. Opening up through the chest. Feel as though you're trying to pull those hands in towards your glutes, but don't actually move your arms. And just feel this nice chest opening stretch. Take a deep inhale. And then on your exhale, release into a forward fold. Arms stretching up to the sky. Allow yourself to find stillness, breathing life into those hips. And release back up again. Let's take one final stretch at the top. And then release. Bring your legs to the front of the mat. And we're going to set ourselves up for a reverse plank. So arms behind the body. Lift your chest and your pelvis up to the sky. Spine long and straight with your body. Toes pointed at this time. And then see if you can flex those toes off the mat. Strong arms, strong core. And then release back down. We're going to slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lower ourselves onto the mat, hugging those knees in towards the chest. And feel free to give your spine a nice little massage by rocking back and forth at this time. Just gently unwinding the body from today's practice. And when you're ready, we're going to try some pelvic tilts. So push those knees away as you drop your toes to the mat. Allow your lower back to lift off the mat as your pelvis comes into anterior tilt. And then pull those knees in towards the chest, flattening your back against the mat into posterior tilt. Let's continue this movement as you push your knees away, feel that lower back lift off the mat. And then gently pull it back onto the mat when you pull your knees in. Just bringing awareness to the movement of your pelvis. This also gives our lower back a nice gentle massage that feels really good. So this is a nice, gentle, controlled movement back and forth. And now let's pause at the top and cross that right knee over the left. Use your left hand to guide your legs over to the left side in this reclined twist. Extend the right arm over to the right side and follow your gaze over your right fingertips. Or feel free to close your eyes. Bring your breath in towards your spine and find stillness once more. And then guide your knees back up, this time releasing your right knee and crossing that left knee over the right. Use your right hand to guide your knees over to the right side. Extend that left arm out long and bring your gaze over to the left. Just continuing to breathe. Deepening your breath. And let's slowly return back to neutral. And we're going to allow our arms and our legs to hang above our body in this dead bug pose. Shake out your ankles and shake out your wrists. And feel any tension just draining from your legs and arms. Just gentle wiggling and movement, allowing any tension to release. And now let's give the arms and the legs one final shake, allowing any tension to release out of them. Just shake them, quick movements, allowing everything to just release. And then slowly lower down and prepare yourself for shavasana. Feel free to grab a blanket if you need to at this time. Otherwise, allow yourself to get comfortable, pulling those shoulder blades down and back, and allowing any tension to release out of the shoulders and the body. Do a quick scan. Allow your ankles to hang heavy. Release any tension from the jaw and from the shoulders. And allow your whole body to relax. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. And just know that you're right where you're meant to be with your practice. You did amazing today, and I'm so proud of you for showing up for yourself. Now allow your body to find stillness and become one with your breath.